Isabelle is a beautiful young French girl who is enjoying a beach vacation with her parents, her younger brother Victor, and a few family friends. Her parents divorced 7 years ago, and since then, she has been living with her mother. During dinner, Isabelle's mother asks her to bring her friend Felix, but the girl refuses to do so since they only met yesterday. Later, Victor gets bored and he wanders around the room checking to see what everyone's doing. However, when he gets to Isabelle's room, he notices that she's screwing herself up and takes the sight by surprise the next day. The next day, Victor and Isabelle go to the beach to get a tan, and Felix also arrives on the scene. Then he invites Isabelle to a party the same night, which she eagerly accepts. That same night, Isabelle gets ready for the party, and asks Victor to distract her parents so she can sneak out. Then she goes to the party and spends time with Felix. Later, they go to the beach. And start kissing. One thing leads to another, and eventually, they make love to each other. After that, Felix goes home with Isabelle and they say goodbye. After a few, Victor comes into Isabelle's room, asks her what happened earlier, and she blatantly tells them that she slept with Felix. But when Victor asks her to tell him everything that happened, Isabelle waved him off and tells him to keep it a secret. The next day, Isabelle goes to the beach with her whole family. Felix joins them, and that's when he realizes that Isabelle doesn't have any feelings for him that night. The family has fun celebrating Isabelle's 17th birthday. And a few days later, the vacation ends and the family decides to return home. On the way back, Isabelle spots Felix from the car but completely ignores him. In the next scene, Isabelle gets dressed and walks to the hotel. Then she enters room 1695 and she meets an older gentleman named George. The man apologizes for not revealing his true age on the website, to which Isabelle replies that she doesn't mind. Then she tells the man that her name is Leah and that she's 20 years old. They become intimate. Afterward, Isabelle takes some money and leaves on her way home and forgets to read a book on the subway and comes home like nothing, as if nothing had happened. Then she puts the money she's earned in the closet and heads for the shower. A few minutes later, she logs onto a website under her nickname Leah and watches some adult videos. The next day at school, students are discussing the poetry of the joys of romance, and also talking about how they spent their summer vacation. Later, Isabelle learns from a classmate that an older man once met her sister and she slept with him in exchange for a Prada bag. Then she offers Isabelle to save his cell phone number. Isabelle is caught off guard and asks if she's serious, but her friend assures her that she's joking and that she hates Prada bags after that. Isabelle gets another offer to sleep with a businessman for 300 euros. Arrives at the hotel in the afternoon and meets this man in the lobby. Then the two of them go into a room where the man asks her to rinse herself while he watches and enjoys it when they're done. So the man doesn't give her the whole amount in full, and when Isabelle demands it, the man threatens to report it to her family for the moment and forget it. There's no leverage on the man, so she's out of here and annoyed with herself. Later on the subway, Isabelle gets a text message saying that someone is interested in her services for 500 euros. Isabelle doesn't hesitate to accept the offer and pulls into the parking lot because she doesn't want to be lied to again. The man doesn't hesitate to accept, and they have a great time in the car. When they get home, Isabelle accidentally sees her stepfather while she's taking a shower. Then he informs his wife that this is Isabelle's second bath of the day, and she responds by telling her husband that it's all a woman's business. Later, Isabelle invites her to join her to the opera house, but she refuses, claiming that she's in a great mood. However, when her mother convinces her that at this age she needs to go out and follow life and forget to change her, once they get to the opera house and Forget notices one of her clients named George. Accompanied by a young woman, she also sees a friend of Peter's family who is on a seaside vacation with them and shows interest in her mother a few minutes afterward. Isabel receives a text message from George with inviting her to meet him at their regular hotel on Wednesday. The next meeting with George will be different because they're have a drink and have a long talk when she wonders who the girl at the theater George says she's his daughter. The two haven't spoken in years. But now he's trying to rebuild there. While they're talking, George asks if she has many of the same clients like him, but Isabel doesn't answer. After that, they start passionately spending time together. When Isabel realizes he's dead, she rushes to the bathroom. Anxious, she rushes to the bathroom where she stumbles and hits her head. Isabel notices that George has taken a drug, an endurance-enhancing drug, and died as a result of the overdose. Then she runs out of the hotel without telling anyone. However, when she gets home, Isabel tells her mother that she slipped in the shower and hit her head. The next day, the police officers arrive at Isabel's mother's office and uncover the truth about her double life and forgotten. Her mother was stunned and refused to believe that her daughter could do such a thing. But when the police show her pictures of Isabel outside the hotel, she is horrified at this revelation. But the police officers tell her that they're not going to arrest her and have forgotten, and that she is considered a victim because she is a minor. They explained to them they needed to find out if she was involved voluntarily or forced into it. Later, when they get home, they look through the laptop and forgot to find a website where she's been posting nude photos of herself. They also discover the money that Isabel hidden in her closet. A while later, Isabel comes home from school. Her mother is angry and confronts her, asking why she's selling herself. She honestly doesn't understand why Isabel would do such a thing. Money, and moreover, her mother is worried if she used condoms when she slept with these men and asks her if she would do it again. Isabel's response is to tell her mother that it's all in the past and it's over. And then the mother still feels bad about it and starts blaming herself, but her husband calms her down and encourages her not to blame himself. He tells her that Isabel is a beautiful woman and it's no wonder men want to sleep with her, but the mother is still terrified because it seems to her that if George hadn't died and forgotten about it, she would have gone on keep doing it. The next day, Isabel goes to the police station, and she's honest about what she's been through. She says that one day after school, an older man came up to her after school and asked her for money for her services. After some thought, she decided that she had to do it. And at first she was disgusted, but soon she got used to it. She also bought a second cell phone for work and subscribed to a website to meet men. Then the police officer asks her if she's going to do it again in the future. Isabel claims it's just an experience, but the officer warns her that it could be dangerous because she never know who she's gonna meet. Underage girls are easy prey. They're often attacked and even killed. That same night, Isabel's mother advised her to see a psychologist because she thought Isabel might be suffering mental illness. Isabel, on the other hand, claims she doesn't need a psychologist and assures her that there is nothing wrong with her. Is fine after that? Her parents are deciding what to do with the money. They think it would be better to donate it somewhere. But also comes in worried and declares that she wants to keep her money because she earned it the next morning and forgot. Her mother goes to see a psychologist where Isabel declares that she wants to pay the doctor and the money she's earned. Her mother refuses, but the psychologist says that she has earned the money and that it will be paid to her. That same night, Isabel goes to Peter's house to watch his children while he and his wife take a walk. The couple returns home. Peter offers to drive Isabel home, but his wife clearly objects to this. So she takes Isabel home, drives Isabel home. On the way, Isabel realizes that her mother has told Peter's family, and that's why his wife is afraid. She tells Peter's wife that she's not a threat and that she should instead keep an eye on her husband back home, and talks to her stepfather, who informs her that her mother is upset about her actions. But on the other hand, Isabel doesn't seem bothered by it at all. Then she questions her stepfather about his personal life and also asks what she doesn't think, but the man gently tells her that she should be more gentler with her mother after saying this, and, forgotten? She changes the subject and tries to seduce him, but just at that moment, her mother shows up and sees them laughing together. She's alarmed, then she bursts into the bedroom accompanied by her husband. Her mother tells them that her daughter has been possessed by a demon, but her husband claims that it was all a provocation and that he understands. After his mother decides to talk to her daughter again, but the conversation doesn't go well as they argue. Isabel claims to be aware of the relationship between her and Peter, and when Isabel asks if she slept with him, her mother doesn't answer the next day. Isabel goes back to the counselor and tells them that she didn't feel anything. She felt when she slept with several men, but when she thought about it later at home or at school, she wanted to try again. Isabel also claims that she liked George and she liked being with him because he was different. However, she believes that she bears full responsibility for George's death and bursts into tears the next day at school. Her best friend Isabel says that she slept with a boy and lost her virginity. But it wasn't very nice, and now the boy is ignoring her. Isabel calms her down by saying it's normal for the first time and suggests they go to a party later that night, and Isabel's friend arrives, and the two of them go to the party where Isabel has a couple cocktails before going out to the balcony where she meets her classmate Alex. So Alex seems to be head over heels in love with her and asks her if he can kiss her. She hesitates. She lets him and they exchange a kiss and dance together. After that, they wander around the city all night talking about their lives. After some time, the scene shifts to the spring session and Isabel enters into a relationship. However, Isabel doesn't have any feelings for him and ends their relationship. Alex is clearly upset about it, but he accepts her decision and walks out afterwards, and Isabel takes out her secret SIM card and inserts it into her phone. As soon as she turns on the phone, the screen pops up with a bunch of messages and she smiles contentedly. In the next scene, Isabel arrives at the same hotel where she used to after a short waiting. An elderly woman approaches her and tells her that she is George's wife. She tells Isabel that she knows all about how they met and their intimate life. Isabel apologizes for his death, but the woman informs her that it